Hey, it's Leigh from Creative Leigh here with FLOSSTUBE number 86 on Sunday the 1st of August. 1 month to go till spring, right? Well, here anyway. Bit of a mixed bag for you today. Excuse the glare. There's no rain today. Very sunny out, and I might squint a bit because it's so bright. But anyway, yeah, a bit of a mixed bag. I don't have tons of stitching to show you, but that's okay. I got a few little bits and pieces. It's all piled here on my table, and probably some rustling. Apologise in advance if you don't like rustling. What's been going on? Very busy. Everyone says that, but like I really have been. Work continues to be full on. My weekends are all kind of quite booked up all of August. I've now got people that I'm scheduling to catch up in September. October, I hope to have a week off and a few days off. A week off near the beginning of October to go up to visit Dad, and also my great aunt turns 100 in October on the 7th of October, and my best friend Tanya turns 50 on the 10th of October. So if I work it out, I head up there. It's just after my dad's birthday, but yeah, spend some time with my aunt and then my friend, and then come back, and then I'm heading to Dunedin at the end of December with a few friends, so just for a couple of days. I've never been to Dunedin, so it's quite exciting. So I've got a few weekends in September where I don't have anything planned, but when did life become that you got to book 3 months in advance to see a friend? I don't know when that happened. Bizarre. Yesterday we had a lovely day. It was our first sort of Wellington Stitchy gathering, organised by Anne in the New Zealand Facebook, or the Wellington Facebook group, I guess. And probably 25 people. It was a really nice number. At the Johnsonville Community Hub, which is a little free space you can book and use. So didn't get much stitching done because you don't go to those things to do stitching, right? You do go to those things to meet people. So it was a nice afternoon, and today I've just been catching up with friends on the phone, again booking people in. Had a shower at 12:30. Went out and grabbed a coffee and a muffin for lunch, and now I need to get this video done, and then I've got some work to do this afternoon, and then a new start. So we'll get to that in a minute. Dad made it back to New Zealand. He made it back to New Zealand on Friday before the window closed to get back for quarantine-free travel. So he's with my brother Blair until, I can't remember when his flight is. His flight's this afternoon back to Whakatane. We didn't want to move that because A, it wasn't disrupted due to COVID, it was just a domestic flight, and it's through regional air, which is limited flights per day and incredibly expensive, and there was no there's no leeway for booking it, for changing the flight. So he stayed with my brother for a couple of days, which was probably quite nice, because he wasn't actually sure when he might get up there to see them. And then on Friday, so I texted my sister on Friday to say that I'd talked to Dad, probably around 5 o'clock, to say I talked to Dad, so he was definitely back in New Zealand, he was with Blair, all was good, and she said, oh, well, that's really good, because a local high school had to close for at least 48 hours for a deep clean because a student had tested positive. Overnight they had like another 7 cases or something, and then they went into lockdown, hard lockdown for 4 days. But she said overnight there's another 6 related cases, so probably Queensland's going to go into a longer lockdown. So yeah, looks like closing the Trans-Tasman travel was definitely a good thing, and yay, Dad's back, and I'm probably not going to go to Australia in October, which is fine. It's not necessary travel. I want to travel. I want to see my sister. I want to see the kids, and just have to wait. I do have my vaccine, my first vaccine this Friday coming, so I'm quite excited about that. Just through the GP, they opened up. Anyway, I don't really care. I got invited to get one, so I booked in. And then they will book the follow-up once you have the first jab, which will be at least 3 weeks away. I have heard wind from someone who has a connection to Health, Ministry of Health, that there might be something coming out soon to say newer research suggests better efficacy if there's a longer gap between vaccine 1 and vaccine 2, so they may look at extending the gap between the first and second jab. I'll do whatever I'm told. Went to the ballet on Friday night with Lauren. It was great. It was a double bill by the Royal New Zealand Ballet. The first performance was the third act from Paquita, so no story, just pretty costumes and tiaras and lots of sparkle and spinning and leaping as you get in a classical story ballet. And then the second half was a new choreography for Firebird, sort of set in a post-apocalyptic, aka today, world where the climate has changed, but and there's a phoenix character who has, I guess, brings hope, and it was really, really cool. It was really different. It was one sort of act, I guess, quite a dramatic sort of Mad Max meets the Phoenix meets visual effects. All of the characters, apart from the Phoenix, were in kind of dark grey and dark navy, and lots of layers and hoods and sort of, again, Mad Maxy weapons and masks and stuff. And the Phoenix, the Firebird, was the only character on point, and lots of sparkles and sequins and very sort of bird-like movements and lots of visual effects. They did all this amazing stuff where on a screen behind her you could see all these flames and sparkles, so it looked like she was basically a flame. It was quite cool. Really lovely time. So that's pretty cool. That's what I've been doing, and I guess that's life update. Onto the Stitchy stuff. So I've got stuff everywhere. What have I done? What have I worked on? Okay, so I decided to give Sunset a bit of a blatch this week. I probably stitched 3 days maybe. I couldn't stitch every night because I wasn't home or got home late, but because I put this into Pattern Keeper a few weeks ago, now I'm rip-roaring, racing ahead, and I think I got about 3,800 odd stitches in. I am now just over, nearly at 36%. I think I started at about 20, picked it up at 25%. So I've got quite a good chunk, just picking a colour and working my way around and back as I go. So sorry, no ironing today because it's nearly 2 o'clock and I just haven't got time to get the iron out. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So I enjoyed that, and definitely for these full coverage projects, Pattern Keeper definitely, I acknowledge, it definitely speeds it up. You certainly are less likely to put colour in the wrong place or to miss one. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. So they are both, so Sunset and Sunrise. Oh, I'm not even doing my thing, am I? Sunset and Sunrise are both from Carolyn Manning Designs from the Shooting Star collection, and Sunset is on 20 count Aida from Tommy Lily Designs in the colour Coral or Corail. And I really love 20 count Aida. So bring on 20 count Aida. My eyes actually. That was the lion's share. Then yesterday when we went to stitching the Stitchy catch up, I took something that would be nice and simple because I don't want to be messing up So the irony is I did mess up, but it's not a bad mess up. So I tried to pick up my Peppermint Purple Blackwork 2021 SAL. I had 3 weeks to do. I got 2.5 done, and so the new 3 are here. This is the right colour, but this pattern was supposed to be over here. This was meant to be week 29 or whatever it was, and I stitched it with week 25. Oh, I don't know, it doesn't matter. This design was meant to be here in one of these colours, and I was chat, and I stitched it there. So I was just happy the colour was in the right place. It is supposed to be a long shape, and it's a long one, so that's fine. Whatever that design is, I'll stitch it here when I get to it. So I just renamed them on my chart to say whatever that one was, 20 whatever, and changed that one. Might be like 30 and 35 or something. So I got that square done, and half of this done at the weekend, and then when I got home last night I did finish that one, and then just did the black work. So yeah, like I was there from 11:30 till 4, and I got that done. But that's how much you don't do, right, when you're gathering with people, because I trust me, I stitch faster than that. But still, I'm all caught up with that, so that's quite nice. Just a nice little bit of work. And then this morning, because I was on the phone for probably 3.5 hours this morning with friends and stuff, just doing I decided I would, while I was chatting, I would get my Fractal bookmark from Stitch Collectibles, the Fractal 95 bookmark. I figured I'd get that into Pattern Keeper. Okay, so I'd already put the chart into Pattern Keeper, but I had to go through and update my progress to date. Turns out I had done 48%. I would have thought I was closer to 40. And then I carried on, and I'm now at 50, I think I'm 50.9%, so I'm nearly at 51%. I did basically those red bubbles, and I did a little bit of yellow through here. So as I talked about last time, I'm going to work through this and do all of the solidy bits of colour, like all the bubbles and the black, which are, you get bang for your buck. You can easily use 6 strands of thread to finish, as you work your way up. So I get really good solid stitching, and then I'll come back, because the confetti starts about here, is like the lowest. This is the bottom stitch that's missing. So then once I've finished all the way up, which here's about halfway, once I've finished all the way up, I will come back, load up my thread with a particular colour, confetti colour, and just stitch that colour all the way through, swap to the next colour, and just stitch up like that. And certainly once I started doing this from about here, it went a lot quicker than trying to do row by row, because it's not efficient to do 1 or 2 things of colour. I got time for that. So I'm now more confident of getting this finished this year. Before I put it into Pattern Keeper, I would have said I had way too much to do. But having put it in Pattern Keeper and having just done this morning, like I did all of this and marking it up, I did on my phone call with my friend Tanya. So I'm more confident now that I can easily get it finished this year. So that's really cool. I'm quite pleased with that. So that was just a little bit of stitching this morning, and I don't know where my bag is. It doesn't matter. I have a little bit of I have some acquisitions. I've got some Stitchy kindness. I had a random act of kindness arrive in the mail, which I'll show you in a minute. But I'll show you a couple of things that I've acquired. And it was still July, so my no by July really wasn't a no by July, was it? But you may recall ages ago, a few weeks ago how I showed that I bought this chart. This was one of the, it was on sale, it was half price, it was something like $4 or $5, I don't know what it was, from Antique Stitch by Anastasia Alex, and it's an Etsy store called @Antique Stitch. And when I downloaded the chart, it was like 100 pages or 110 pages. The packet, the PDF was 110 pages, and I was like, oh, it's a bit big. I mean, look at the design. Obviously, it was going to be quite big and detailed, but it didn't register with me, and I didn't look at it and realise it's $781 for 73. And I think I said at the time, oh well, who knows if I'll ever stitch it. I really want to stitch it. So then the other week last week when I had a voucher to spend, if I spend $100 at, you spend $100 at Spotlight and get $40 off. Well, then I picked up some silk from the Gutermann silk. So just the sewing thread, but so it's similar to the 103 in the weight, but it's just Gutermann. So I got 3 spools of this dark navy, and I also picked up a couple of these as well. So these are 3 spools of, wonder what the color is. Color 339. Got 3 spools of that. So how much is that? So that's 300 meters of silk, and then I also got the 869 and this lovely, I wouldn't call that teal, I'd call that jade, I don't know, and this sort of more aqua-y teal, which is in 107. So I bought silk for it. So then when I was at the Stitchy weekend, Catherine from Country Stitch brought along her shop. So I got myself a big ass piece of 45 count white. La! So this is slightly bigger than I need because she would have like cut off a little bit. And so what's this, Bergen? 45 or 46 count, I think it is Bergen. So for someone who doesn't stitch on white, I've now bought a blanket of white, but I sort of figure this chart is sort of like, reminds me of a Delft pattern, although not, the design isn't so much. So I'm going to give it a go. Predominantly navy with potentially these other colours if I decide it needs a break. We'll see. Or it'll just be all navy. I start bottom left. So if I start it and I get so far and go, you know what, this is not fun, or I'm sick of it, I can always just cut that bit off, and then I've got, you know, a big ass piece of 46 count for 9 million other projects. But I think that this might be one of those projects that I start, and obviously, even for me, I wouldn't expect to finish this in a year, especially when I've got, you know, 50 starts planned for next year. But it might be one of those ones that I work on, but like my Save the Stitches, it's going to take a bit longer. It's more about the process, not about the finished product. But I kind of need to start it soonish while I can still see, because, you know, 46 count. So that's my plan. So that's actually another project kitted. I probably will start it this year. I don't think I'm going to leave this one to be my 50 at 50. I think I'll start it, I'm thinking about starting it on the anniversary of when my mum passed away, which is the 23rd of September. I think I might start it then, just as something that, it's not necessarily a memorial piece, but I mean, it could be, right? Just in, I don't know, it'll be 11, what year are we? Yeah, it'll be 11 years in September since Mum died, and I don't know, it just might be something nice to do. So it's another kitted thing in the box, by the way, but I'm thinking about starting it soon. So that was something new. Julia, a local stitcher, had brought along some stuff that she wanted to de-stash, and she had a little bag of Mo Sale threads. I had signed up for Mo Sale's Facebook page one time, but I'm not a fan of that mode of selling, I guess, with the whole, I'm going to list stuff and, you know, say you want 2 of them and there's 1 left and that person wants 1. I just haven't got time. There must be people who stalk. I'm too busy. I'm too busy to schedule my life around hopefully putting my name down for something or having to, anyway, it just doesn't suit me. It doesn't suit my lifestyle. However, she was selling a set of overdyed cottons that she had bought and didn't need anymore, and they are, don't at me, they were a Harry Potter theme, which I don't really care about because I've never really been a Harry Potter theme. I think that I like the storyline, the general storyline, the mythology, but I think J.K. Rowling needed a jolly good editor, and she could have cut like a shit ton out of those books. And then there's the whole, you know, she's a bit trollopy now, but whatever. So I don't really care about Harry Potter stuff. I didn't buy these because they were Harry Potter, but they're pretty cool colours. So like, you know, that one's a Gryffindor and that one's a Patronus and this one's Harry? I can't really read the writing. Harry, I don't know, whatever. They're kind of nice, but I particularly loved the one that's called the Snitch. Oh, I'm lifted out. The Snitch. I think those colours are beautiful. These soft grey blues and golden yellows. And Julia had 3 extra, she must have liked it too. She had 3 extra skeins. So I've actually got 4 skeins of the Snitch colour. So for me, I'm like, that's enough to do something cool with. I don't know what, but it's enough to do something cool with an extra bonus of some other really pretty hand-dyed. So it's kind of not really worth me telling you what they all are because you can't buy them anymore. But she was selling that, so I bought that essentially from a de-stash, and then also she was selling some Kreinik. And I just packed this one because I don't have a bright red blending filament, and whatever. So 003HL, and she has some other bits and pieces. So did I need those? No, but they were there, and it was, I felt like it. Also new to me was Judith was doing selling some bags, and this one was sort of like a pre-order, I guess, or but she put one of these up as a model, and I was like, I'll have one. It's because I love Judith's bags, and this one's in a different fabric. It's more of it's a soft canvasy fabric. It's quite a nice texture to it, but it's another Paris bag. It is très chic, c'est joli, c'est magnifique, and it's got a little, she uses these lovely zips, and it's, look, the zip spotty, and the little Eiffel Tower on the zipper pull, and look inside. Oh, I love it. So, very exciting. And even though it's nothing to do with, well, I'm sure they have peacocks in Paris, but I think that my peacock sampler is going to go into my Paris bag, and it'll be in here for a million years because it's going to take a really long time to finish. So yeah, it's ready to start in September. So Friday night I got home about 10 o'clock because we went to the ballet, went to dinner and the ballet after work. Excuse me. And I got home about 10 o'clock Friday night. So I did no stitching on Friday night. So I didn't get my weekly, what I hope to be my weekly stitching on my Blackbird Away We Ride, because I'm doing that on Friday nights and I wasn't home. And okay, I live in a house that has a attached garage, so I very rarely come in and out my front door. I, push the button, I drive into my garage, I come out. So the only times I go to the front door are someone knocks on it, or if I know a parcel's coming. And so I get home, and every 3 or 4 days I go, oh, I should just check the front door just in case. So I don't know how long this parcel had been out there, but I checked on Friday night and it was tucked up against, you couldn't see it from the road. And I was like, oh, there's something there. And I had a look, and I had a parcel from Shan. So thank you, Shan, again. I have thanked Shan privately. Shan sent me a little parcel. And she sent me a lovely Hands Across the Sea card, which I'm pretty sure this one's different to the one I've got from Judith, because the back of it, I'm pretty sure the one I got from Judith has a lady on the back. This one doesn't, because they give you a partial, like for this one has a modification of this motif and a little dog, and it has like this dog and the little dog. It's a sort of an adaptation of this chart. They give you these charts on the back. So it's from Isabella Uffendale, and she had me a lovely note, and basically I'll read a little bit of it. She said, you mentioned in your last FLOSSTUBE, this was a few weeks ago, that you didn't have many Blackbird designs. True, I had one, Away We Ride. I had two, but I decided one of them I wasn't going to stitch, so I passed it on to Sam, because it just wasn't, I bought it, it was too Halloween-y. It was, Away We Ride isn't too Halloween-y, but this other one was too Halloween-y. It was the one with the blackbird with the scarf and the hat. Does it say October 31st on it? Okay, I've got a thing. I've realised I don't like animals in clothes. I didn't know that until I bought them in. I don't really like a bird with a scarf on. Anyway, it's my thing. I think they're cute. I just don't get it for me personally, because I'm weird like that. Anyway, so she said, yeah. So she, Chan, kindly sent me some extras that she had bought by accident. We've all been there, right? And a few other bits and pieces, and some of them will be shared over time with the community, either my immediate community, because I know some of these are loved by others. But anyway, so she sent me a couple of blackbirds. We'll start with those because they are like exciting. And okay, so first of all, Morning Star. So, and I think on the back there's a example of it being as a needle box, and that one just framed, I guess. And I think it's really cute. So I think the chart says that they stitched it on 30 count linen and 40 count linen. The 40 count linen means it fits on this little box. I won't be doing a little box, but it is a very sweet design and a really good opportunity to use some of my fancy flosses and a scrap of fabric. And this is something when, if I'm thinking forward to my 50 starts at 50, here's one where I go, cool, I've just started a piece that's 700 by 400 stitches. Here's something I could actually finish. So it's very cute. I really like it. So thank you, Sean. And the next one, which I absolutely love, the muted colours. It's one of the loose feathers. It is My Heart's Design. So it's from Abecedarian Series 2. And it's, these lovely muted colours, which, again, it's a really sweet design. So it's a little bigger. Probably take 3 days to stitch, not one. But also what's really cool, it already has my freaking initial on it. I don't even have to change it. It already has an L in it. So I think it said, it was L for Lampshire, Alma's middle name. Alma's mother's maiden name. And there were other initials on it, so yay. We'll work that out. But it's so cute. So yeah, I really like that. And of course on the back of it, there's all these lovely designs that I'm like, oh, that would be nice as well, but that's okay. And then she also sent me this, which is amazing, Winds of Autumn. And I haven't even had a really good look through it, but this makes me want to stitch a strawberry or a berry. I've never stitched one before, but it's so cute. And this one's lovely. And this has got the other October 31 in there, and that one's cute. I love the tree and I love how full that is. Yeah, so yeah, there are some lovely charts in here. That's really cute. So thank you, Sian. I'm going to say thank you about 4 more times, but so she also threw in this one. It's an older book, but it's pretty cool. It's called, when was it published? 1982. I was 10 years old when this came out. It's called Antique Museum Samplers, so adapted from the Cooper Hewitt Museum Collection Encountered Cross Stitch. And there's some, it also contains sort of a how-to guide on how to make your own sampler, I guess, from bits and pieces. And includes a old school piece of grid. So it has, so there's one where, so basically this sampler here doesn't contain this chart, but it gives you an idea of how to pull that sampler together. So there's sort of, that one's in there. This is quite funky, those birds and stuff, and this one feels like that should be on a poster for some vacation or something. And yeah, so I think it's a very useful resource. I'm saving a piece de resistance, a single drawn thread autumn arbor. Now these are duplicates. I have these in my stash, but I also have a few friends who are keen to stitch these, so I might have a chat with them about how we manage this. So these are going to probably be shared amongst some local gals first, but between, I now have 2 sets, so I think we can make this work. And it's the Drawn Thread Garden Seasons. So I bought these recently when I went to the Christchurch Stitchy weekend, and they'd been on my list for ages, and I'm going to start one of them next year. I think I'm going to do winter, because I have the fabric, already have the fabric for, one of them I have the fabric for, so I'll start with that one. But yeah, so we've got spring, summer, autumn, and winter. I know Judith wants to borrow one of them to stitch one of the houses, can't remember which house. And anyway, I'll have a chat with them, because I know that yeah, quite a few people are keen to have these or use these, so we might start a bit of a round robin with them. I don't know, we'll worry about it later, but yeah, they're very appreciated. So when I chatted with, I messaged Sharp back to say thank you and mentioned that I would definitely be sharing these. I mean, eventually they'll all get shared, because I don't hang on to things forever. I'm not a collector, I'm a stitcher. And she was like, yeah, she knew I'd mentioned that there were a few people that were keen to stitch them, so, and she's just never going to stitch them, so yeah, very generous. So thank you again, Sian. I never, yeah, I'm so glad I checked the front porch, otherwise it'd possibly still be there. Last thing to show you is I'm going to have a new start today, because it's time and I really want to, and I had talked about this in the past, that I finished Arcade. I was going to save this till next year, however I want to do Quinto Akuto next year, in my year that I'm 50, because Quinto is a 5. So I'm going to start today, this afternoon, this evening, because I won't get to it till this evening. I'm going to start Life After Death, 36 count antique white linen, with PR 132. It's not going to show nicely in this light. Probably with then some contrast occasionally with with DMC 807, and I've got Krennic 006 for the hearts, and I think the key, there's a key or two in there. So similar to how I stitched Death by Cross Stitch, where I used a DMC as an occasional contrast, and then I used the Krennic on the crowns. So I know I stitched all the hearts and some borders with this, and I stitched flowers when I stitched Death by Cross Stitch. So this just looks like a weird, you can't even tell the colour. It's beautiful. It has teal through to royal blue and some navy, and it's not showing in this light, but trust me, it's a million times better than what it looks like on screen. So yeah, that's going to be a new start. So you'll see how I get on with that next week. And I'm very excited about it. Yay. So I'm going to pop that into a Judith bag. This one's my cat bag. I'm sure there's a cat on here somewhere. Is there a cat on this design? I know there'll be a dog. There's rabbits, birds, dog. Oh well, maybe there's not a cat. It'll be fine. It'll be okay in here. So yeah, I'm quite looking forward to that. So yeah, that's what's happening today. But that'll be after dinner when I sit down and for a couple of hours and watch something inane on TV or MasterChef or something. Another thing headed up. So that will be August. Going to start the Peacock Sampler, I think, in September. Meanwhile, I'm going to, crack on and keep working on other projects as well. Yeah, that's it. So probably a bit of a long one today. Put it this way, as of Thursday, I thought all I was going to have to show you was sunset and nothing else, because everything else came in since then. The bag, the fabric, the floss, the charts, everything came in on Friday or Saturday, and then of course I just picked up those couple of things because I was on the phone, so why not stitch while you're on the phone. Thank you for coming to watch my FLOSSTUBE, and welcome to the new subscribers. Thank you for coming back to the old familiar faces. It was nice meeting a few more people yesterday, and just catching up with people in the community. It's so weird that like 2 years ago I didn't know anybody and I was just sat here stitching on my own, and then I sort of started the FLOSSTUBE, and then I joined some of the Facebook groups, and now I feel like I'm making some really nice friends and met some nice people, and it feels it's nice. It's a nice feeling. So who knew that was going to happen? I didn't really know that was going to happen. I hadn't really no expectations. So yeah, it's been really excellent, and I appreciate all the comments that I get each week. I also appreciate that I don't get too many comments each week. It's not saying don't comment, but small following. And yeah, that's pretty much all I've got. So as always, don't let your needles rust. Ciao.